Hi guys, German Prepper here. Europe is in energy crisis, recession has started, mass protests are beginning, and now food processing is threatened. Christoph Minhoff, General Manager of the German Food Association and the Federal Association of the German Food Industry, has made the following alarming and yet so revealing statements in interview. We are in the greatest crisis in 70 years. Crop failures, delivery bottlenecks due to corona, war in Ukraine, possible gas shortages, and everyone is affected, the entire food value chain, logistics and transport, supply industries, and packaging industry. When we talk about system relevance, you always have to think about this whole chain. Food needs raw materials, most of them need packaging, and of course they also have to be transported. A few years ago we switched to gas in the food industry for reasons of sustainability. This is the result now. We urgently need a working plan for a stable energy supply. Minhoff continues when asked about massive food price rises. At the moment, nobody can say with certainty when prices will stabilise again and at what level they will level off. That depends on the development of the world market. Making a forecast here is like looking into a crystal ball. Minhoff then comments on the proposed government plans to switch to organic farming. The fact is, it is no longer possible without sustainable management, i.e. without optimal use of resources. But in fact, one has to ask oneself whether now is the right time to announce a quota of 30% organic farming. Many farmers do not have the capacity to take care of a quick changeover now, and whether consumers will then show the willingness to reward these efforts and pay even more for food is also questionable. Minhoff replies with the following when asked about food waste. The economy tries to produce as little food waste as possible through efficient use of resources and measures such as reworks or upcycling. But it is also a fact that more than half of food losses occur in private households, and many of these are avoidable. This means that food is thrown away because the best before date is interpreted as a throwaway date, because more is bought than is consumed, because more is cooked than eaten. We need to create more awareness here. The raw materials are scarce and raw material prices are exploding. Then we can't just throw away this valuable resource. Minhoff comments on reducing value-added tax or VAT on healthy foods. That would be worth at least trying, but I don't believe in making differences here and bringing about political control over our menu. If VAT is reduced, please apply equally to everything. Minhoff replies with the following when asked if certain foods could disappear from the shelves. It's very simple. There is no such thing as temporary. You will then most likely not find this food again. Dealing with gastronomy during the corona pandemic is the best example of this. Many restaurants, bars or cafes simply did not survive the lockdowns. You can't assume that a profitable company can stop work for a few months and then start again and everything is the same as before. Above all, it's not just about products. It's also primarily about people. Over 5 million people work in the food industry. I don't want any of them to lose their jobs because of a political strategy that doesn't work. Minhoff finishes by answering if certain products are systematically relevant and should therefore have energy supply for production be guaranteed. The debate about systemic relevance in the food sector is unspeakable. I would urgently advise politicians not to intervene so massively in the market and to patronise consumers in such a way that the state decides what we can still eat and what not, and that the state decides who can continue to work and who loses their job. The entire sector is systematically important and must be considered accordingly. So instead of considering who deserves an energy supply and who can survive it and who doesn't, those at the top should finally make sure that this question doesn't even arise because we will have enough gas available. So guys, Minhoff seems like a very sensible fellow, and I believe we need to heed his warnings now. The time of the food prepper has finally arrived. The food supply, already stressed, is now starting to not make it through processing. Government intervention threatens even more disruption. Dire news indeed. A question for you all now to end. Have you added to your food preps in the last few weeks? And if so, what food items are you concentrating on right now? As always, looking forward to reading your answers. Keep prepping, guys. Cheers for now.